Have you ever wondered how fufu is being made? Either the cooked one you buy at the market or the fufu flour that you see in supermarkets? Well, if you want to know, then I think you should watch this video to the very end. Because at the end of this video, I'll be showing you how to make the normal cooked fufu that you see in the market and also how to make fufu flour that can be kept for a very long time on shelf. So the first thing we are going to do is to get our raw material, which is cassava, of course. Now, there are three different species of cassava, although I only know of two. There is the sweet cassava, which can be used right away because it does not contain cyanide or whatever it's called. And then there's the bitter cassava that you need to ferment before you be able to use it so it doesn't become poisonous to you or anyone eating it. The first thing we are going to do is to peel our cassava, which is what you saw earlier on. Peeling of cassava is very easy. So this night the cassava we got was quite a lot and we couldn't finish peeling everything that night. Plus it also started raining. So we are going to split this production into two and we are going to be using it for two different methods of preparing fufu. So at the end of this video, you have two different methods of preparing fufu and you can choose the one that is most convenient for you. So this one that we were able to peel this night, we just rinsed it up and then we are going to soak it into our bucket. And the following morning, this is us completing the peeling process, and then we are also going to go ahead to soak it for 3 days. This is 3 days later, and the two different batches of cassava, they've gotten soft, but the one in this black drum is softer than the one in the blue drum because we soaked it earlier than the one in the blue drum. So because of that, we are going to be processing only this one today, and I'm going to be showing you guys the first method of making your fufu. For this method, we are going to be bringing out our cassava and then we are going to squeeze out the water from the fermented water and rinse it in a fresh water. What does this do? This one helps to reduce the smell of fermentation. So this way your fufu doesn't smell, and that is where you get your odorless fufu. And when we are done with this process, we are going to get a different bucket of water and then we are going to get a sieve just like this, and then we are just going to pass it through the sieve with the sieve inside the water and just rinse it out till all the starch is out into the water. By the time all the starch is out, you are definitely going to feel it in the shaft that is remaining in the sieve. So that is how we are going to continue doing this until we are done with everything. And when we are done doing this, we are going to leave it for some hours for it to settle underneath. Now let's go to the second method. So for this one, we left it for an extra day and you guys can see that it is very soft already. So we won't be able to go through the rinsing process because this cassava is already very soft. So after using a sieve to bring it out, just to drain the water, we are going to go ahead to blend this using a very strong grinder. And depending on the quantity you are actually processing, if you have a strong blender, you can also use a strong blender. And if you don't have a strong blender, just take it to a commercial grinding machine and you'll get the job done. So after doing that, we're just going to go through the same process as we did with the very first one. But this time around, we are using a finer sieve because it is well blended compared to the other one. And when we are done, we are going to leave it for a few hours for the fufu to settle underneath. So this is night time and it is fully settled, and we are just going to drain the water in order to get our fufu. But you guys can see that this fufu is still very strong. So after draining the water, we are going to get ourselves a sack. So we'll be making use of this sack. You can use any sack like sack of rice, sack of beans, sack of curry. You guys understand? So you are going to get everything into a sack and then you're going to tie it very properly. Then leave it for about 1 or 2 hours for the water to naturally drain away from the sack. Now when the water is drained to some extent away from the sack, you are going to place it on a flat surface and then you're going to place an heavy object on it. So this is what we did this night, but I couldn't film all the process because my battery went low. But in the following morning, you guys will see how I was able to drain all the water out. So let's just go to the following morning and you guys can see how I left it overnight. So by the following morning, I just removed the block that I used to press it down, and then I'm just going to open it normally as expected, of course, and you guys will see how our fufu actually turned out. You guys can see. So this is it, guys. You can see how it is. Now this is the fresh fufu that is being used in making your fufu naturally, or let me just say the cooked one that you guys buy in the market. I'm going to show you guys how to prepare it, but let me show you guys how we go through the drying method in order to make fufu flour. So this is the fufu already, and I had to just use my hand to just break the balls, and then I kept some into a ziploc bag which I'm going to put in my freezer to make normal fresh fufu. And to turn your fufu into powder using the same one, we are going to go ahead to spread the paste, and we are going to be using two methods of drying out. I'm going to be using the sun method, and I'm also going to be using my dehydrator. I would have used my dehydrator for all, but my dehydrator cannot I will not dry everything at once. It will use about 4 times to dry everything. So in order to save gas and all, I'm going to be going through the normal and the natural way of drying, which is using the sun method. And because hygiene is very, very important, I'm going to be covering this with nets. And this will take about 3 days for it to get dried. And once it is dried, we are going to proceed to make our fufu flour. But before then, let me teach you guys how to make the normal cooked fufu you see in the market. Using the paste I got earlier on and kept in my Ziploc bag, I'm just going to put it in my pot. I'm going to add in water just as if I want to make pap. And then once I'm sure that the lumps are no longer there, because if it has lumps, your fufu will also come out with lumps. So just make sure that it doesn't have lump. Get it on your stove pot, and then you're going to start the process of turning. You see this particular turning, if you no get strength, no near am o. So all you need to do is to just keep on turning it, and if you feel it's getting too hard, you can add in some water. You are going to keep on turning, you are going to keep on turning. You'll see that the color will start to change, and subsequently you also start to taste it to see if it is well done, because if you don't cook your fufu properly, it can also give you a stomach upset. So make sure that you cook it very well. It could take about 20 minutes for it to get really, really done. And we are done with our fufu, so we just put it into a bowl just to, do it as if we are doing amala. And we're going to put it into a nylon. So this is just the process in which they help you guys to, to package that fufu that you see in the market. Just watch how she does it. It's very, very simple, okay? And after this one, we are going to go to the process of making our fufu flour. Hi guys, so this is the final look of our fufu after it got dried, and the only thing left is to just grind this into a very, very fine powder, and that is it. So using my commercial grinder, I'm just going to grind it about 2 to 3 times, and like I said, if you don't have a strong blender, you can always take it to a commercial grinder and they are going to help you to grind it. So after grinding it, this is the final outcome of our fufu powder, and we are going to go into the process of preparing it. The way this fufu flour is now, you can keep it on your shelf for a very long time. Now let me take you guys through the process of how to prepare your fufu flour. So getting your flour, you're going to mix it up with water, and like the previous one, make sure that there is no lumps, because if there is lumps in your powder paste, your fufu is also going to come out with lumps. So just take it as though you are preparing pap. So just take it on your stove top, and then you're going to mix it until it becomes thick. So you just keep stirring and stirring. With time on your stove top, you are going to notice that it's going to start getting thicker, and then you just know that okay, you are getting things right. And if there is need for water, you can also add water to it. So at this point, the frying pan was already becoming too tedious for me, so I changed it into a pot. So you just keep going, add water if it's too thick, and when you're at your very, very good consistency, you stop. And that is it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to follow me, like, subscribe, turn on your post notification, okay? And I'm going to see you in my next video. Bye. I am Sissy Laddie.